Okay, everybody. Hi. How are you doing? Phew. Yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo. Made it. Was watching the Honey Badger conference and didn't want to miss archiving the move. And here on this gorgeous Saturday morning. And very interested in this move after the 83.75. And I love actually the way that the ledges are counting themselves up and up. Um, I'm not really surprised because the weekend puts families together. We've experienced this in prior years where families will get together and start talking, and sure enough, the next day there'll be, a little bit of interest to get involved. So, whether the account holders are showing, how to transact a trade, or they're getting involved in the exchanges themselves, etc. But we've seen this before. It seems as though family drives Bitcoin sometimes, whereas before it would be, get out of my face and you're just talking about mystery. What did people used to say? It was called internet magical beans or something. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. So we'll watch the move a little bit, and I'll get the Nightbot going and work on some things while I'm with you for the next hour. And of course, engage in the chat if you'd like. The chat is archived and made part of the comments, which is a little different way of doing things. But if you were in the replay, you could visit the comment section down below, and you would see uh, everything that had been shared in the live chat. So it's a way of archiving the chat. Yes, I came up with that crazy way of doing things. All right, so the trade is at 87.3639 on the session, up 6.35%. And that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and run over to YouTube. And what I'd like to do is figure out a way to keep the chart up, and I may not have done this right. So let's see. Let me go ahead and put the view on no screen share. All right, so let me stop the screen share and then let me get up some other tabs, okay? All righty. Okie dokes. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Make sure that we are on YouTube. All right, so we're live. And we're on auto mute. We get the chat popped out. Bring chat down. And we'll go ahead and share. All right, go back to screen share. And that should put us in good stead there. Present to everyone. Okay, we're back. All right, and I'll be on mute for just a moment while I get the Nightbot. So you guys could just see that I went over to my Twitter, right, giving it a few minutes, of course. 294 impressions on my Twitter. And I think it has something to do with, instead of trying to do the whole SEO, is go ahead and elevate the hashtags. So you'll notice in my description, I don't say anything in my description. I'm just putting hashtags in the description. I'm foregoing the tags that are used in the traditional keywords that are offered on YouTube. When you take it over to Twitter and it picks, because you've got the extended characters now, it's an entire block of hashtags. And I think that that's maybe one reason. Now, as it would be, I'm not queuing in the viewers, but there's 294. Let me see. How does Twitter do it again? Let me go into that again. So here we are. This is the tweet that went out. So 303 impressions now. Okay, 303 impressions. And I suppose if I was to go into the real-time version, which I might be able to do, I could find out a little bit more about that. But that, that's pretty decent on a Saturday. 303 impressions. Now the thing is that it's called conversion. I am not able to facilitate them coming from Twitter to YouTube, which is supposed to be kind of the classic migration or conversion, whatever you'd like to call it. So I'm fascinated by that, and so we'll keep looking at the impressions grow. And as a matter of fact, here's 307. This impression number will probably grow. And maybe we'll keep this up, 308 impressions now. We'll keep this up so that, especially when I'm on mic and we can see the price, $87.33.98. And if you have a good chart in front of you, you sort of kind of know that we're flagging out a little bit up here. So we'll keep an eye on liquidations, of course, as it would be. But I think it's maybe time for me to, because I'm on this 10,000 lifetime viewer push, and challenge that we sort of figure out how can the channel get to 10,000 lifetime viewers. So we're getting something over at Twitter. Now, of course, we're not getting retweets. We're not getting, in fact, let me go into the other analytics here. Let's go into where I go here. I'm sorry, top tweets. Go here, and we'll go to tweets. And the most recent one will be this one here. And you'll notice, here we go, 311 impressions, no engagement, right? The next tweet, just as the example, about this was really more informative, right? We got 63 impressions. Remember, no hashtags are used. 63 impressions, 2 engagements, and this 3.2% engagement rate. And I am certainly I don't know anything about Twitter and what these metrics really mean to anything. I just try and put out what I want to put out on Twitter. It's really more of a journal and social proof than anything. I'm not trying to, get people to do things. But I think that this really says quite a bit in maybe changing up the attitude as to the description that you put into your YouTube content and how you can amplify some of the metric by doing that. So I figure if we're getting 311 impressions over at Twitter, we must be getting some sort of traction over inside of Google somehow. However, we are not, of course, if we were to go over to Twitter, if we were to check out YouTube right now, I'll do this live with you guys as the trade is at 87.27. So this is what's going on with the trade. Okay, so don't get all freaked out about that. Okay, so here we are. And I think what we'll do is let me do Bitcoin. in the search, go over to filters and go to the 1, 2, 3, fourth column, live. Fourth column, live. And you'll notice that we are on, and I'm always suspicious about this because everybody always says, oh, you're only there because of vanity metric. That could be true. That could be true. And it would be, we could go into an incognito window to see where we really are. And then, of course, the next thing to do is to just do Google and do Bitcoin live. And let's see what happens there. I don't think we need to really do that. Okay, so here is everyone. You can see it's a very crowded room timeline. Now Bloomberg is way down there, and here we are. And currently we are number after the ad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can tell you this fellow here, even though it says live now, these are redos. And I know that this fellow here is only audio. I'm sorry, pardon me, video only. So we're there, but you can notice that, oh, it cut off the hashtag, the Bitcoin hashtag there. I wonder why that happened. So let's go into the event. And let's see. Nope, it's right there. The hashtag is right there. So something that we might want to do is maybe let's go ahead and edit. And let's go ahead and see, let me get my, let's go ahead and do the big red button. Let's see what happens there. We do that right in front of here. Should mean that we're live. I'm going to save those changes. Go ahead and go back over to the watch page. And let's see if that clicked in, and it did. Okay, so now we'll go back over to YouTube. And we will go into the search again. And we do this to make sure that there's nothing that's being cached. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, that has not come up, and we moved down a spot actually. Go ahead and refresh. And we're looking for the red button, so it still hasn't come up yet. And we moved down a spot as well. See who's live? Okay. All right, so keep an eye on that. And we'll go back over to the Twitter activity. So we'll refresh. And we'll go into tweets. 347 impressions with a 0.3% engagement. Now, where are they getting the engagement from, I wonder? See, there's no, it must be from, gee, I don't know. Oh, here we've got a notification. Ah, Altcoin Trader retweeted. Okay, I see what you're doing. All right, thank you, Altcoin. All right, so let's go back home. So that's, you get 3% for getting a retweet. Look at the lemon pepper chicken. Look at that. 850. In fact, they say I've reached so many impressions, etc., that they want me to promote the tweet. Um, okay, go to tweets and 358, and that impression was the retweet. And because there was one engagement, they gave us a 0.3% on 358. Okay, so let's see if that works out. 2 on 64 gives you 3%. Okay, we'll just keep an eye on it. Trade is at 87.0501. Once again, it's just if this flag gets any thinner, what's happening is that it's soaking up all of this candle here. Let's do it. Go ahead and you see it's soaking up all this candle here. The entire thing. We could not get a higher high. We're very close to going ahead and engulfing the candle altogether. So it was a nice push. I'm sure the person involved in that push isn't so happy that it couldn't get a bit more momentum. But no crying at the rodeo. No crying at the rodeo. Okay, so let's go. We were at 347, and now we go to 363. All right, so our impressions are building. Thank you, guys. That's pretty fun. Go ahead and get rid of that. And let's make sure that we get the Nightbot's working. Okay, there we go. And the one that didn't work? No, the subscribers go live with me on the panel. Okay, that one works. That's right. So these are things that I think I should probably put in the description as well. What the Nightbot commands are. So maybe we'll do that. I think I said I was going to do that yesterday. It's a holiday too. Okay, so we have another half of an hour. And I'm just wondering if we were to let's go back over to YouTube. We'll see whether or not we kind of know what's going on with this trade anyway, right? So we have what's called a slippery wick in my world. So we had this lovely buying wick. It's still, you know, we're still pressing forward. We have a little bit of agitation with the EMAs here, a little bit of volatility in the EMAs, and you really want these to stay nice and steady, flat, as you can see. In fact, we can count the ledges for the EMAs since we had the cross, if you like, especially since the 8 and the 12 broke away. So you always want to look for that. When the 8 and the 12 break away, you'll start to get some, you know, trajectory. And so we did see that here. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple ledges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ledges, 10, and now we're seeing this one present itself just a little rocky right up here. So from where the 8 and the 12 began to separate, it's kind of like it acts as an impulse. 8 and the 12 separate like that, and then you start to get the moves. But you know, we're in super tops, and I mean, you know that I was looking at the 83.75 to break to the upside, and 83.24 to break to the downside, full well knowing that Ruby was in the long, but very Very lackadaisical, long. It's still a signal, and it certainly doesn't mean that you know, pile all in, but it is a signal. And you can wait for certain conditions to have met according to your trading style. You can obviously see that after the cross that those longs did uh, get a little bit of pain, but to the 96 EMA, this happens. It happens more than you would realize. Somewhere in the first 5% of the move, you'll see some sort of rejection and profit taking from any kind of like serious impulse, for example, the cross, and then the sell off after the cross. So you do have to be careful and you have to be patient for the EMAs to sort themselves out. And okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm still on mic. And we're going to come over to YouTube again. And go ahead and come over here. And sorry if you see some. All right, so we're going to go to edit the video. And we're going to put here that this is the Nightbot commands. Please use, and then it's going to be /, and that would get you that, right? Come back over to the chat. We have / turkey leg, poultry leg. All right. And then there's rules and signals. And Fibonacci. Okay. And we have our green heart. It's also / green heart. Save the changes. Okay. Oh, they came up. Look at that. Nightbot commands, please use. Very nice. Very, very nice. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you very much. Okay, so now the night commands are in the Nightbot commands. Okay. Woot woot. There we go. Okay. 387 impressions. Okay, I'll be on mute for just a little bit. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, guys, and it'll probably be another 5 minutes. Um, I'm more curious about what's happening over at Twitter and how this conversion is working over on YouTube. Um, so just going to keep kind of working on that. I pretty much, if you've been following a Ruby, you sort of kind of know what's going on up here. I think that people are taking advantage of kind of climbing in, really more of a social impact than anything. There is still enough bit of news. I'm happy to show you my tweet deck. So you're reminded to have a good tweet deck for yourself. And you'll notice that I have 5 columns. I did not go beyond 5 columns, although it can go in almost infinity, I believe. So I have my Bitcoin column, and once again, no retweets when I do my tweet deck. The BitMEX rect, which keeps me, doesn't matter that it's just BitMEX. These things seem to kind of, they flow over, it builds up a dam of activity, and it will often then find its way over to the other exchanges. And of course, that we highlight the Coinbase, the BTC USD Coinbase pair. We do try and stay on this chart, and keeps a familiarity with one particular chart, and which I prefer. Then I have the hashtag cryptocurrency. Once again, same sort of thing, no retweets. And then I saw over at Bitcoin that people were talking about Thamos. So I went ahead and I used the 4th column as kind of my catch-all. There's something that I see that's happening that's interesting, like the Verge coin, whether there's a hack or some sort of other social implication, then I go over to the 4th column and throw that in. And I want to see, for example, we can see how far the Chicago board news went. There we go. And let's see if it's basically all Bitcoin related. Um, okay, let me put the Hangout on, take the screen share off for just a moment. And I'll be on mute the mic too.